Greetings, 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 Madame Dione Mason. How are
Hello,
you?
hi Dewitt. I'm wonderful. Wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an honor to have you here. We are truly excited about what you've been able to put together for not just the community, not just the culture, but like the country. Being Canada's first, Caribbean infused, race of this capacity, running in this capacity, is just really a huge undertaking. And we are all so proud of your efforts. I've personally, I think I even appear in the video we're going to see soon, but I've personally been on the front line and watching how, you all do this with such excellence, and such a just a commitment to the culture and to the community. It's just unbelievable, remarkable. So congratulations. I see the logo there on your shirt. Are you
Yeah,
representing brand
of course.
brand placement?
Branding.
It's all about branding. It's all about branding. So everyone who are tuned in, we have produced this special interview, just so you get an opportunity to learn more about the people behind the different events that we are promoting, and presenting as an opportunity for you to get your message to the masses. As the Black Advertising Week group works with 8 ad agencies across North America to ensure that there's equitable dollars spent with Black owned media. We recognize that there are not so many Black media outlets to accommodate, so many different brands who are trying to reach the very, the very, very affluent, and very, very loyal Afro Black Caribbean consumer base. And so we looked outside of the box. This is 2022. And if you're looking at traditional paper and TV shows, you are behind the times. And right now, everything is digital, and everything is now, because COVID is easing its death grip on us a bit, that, events are opening up again. And, the object of media, period, is to be able to communicate a message to people and to be able to have an audience, right? And to serve that audience, right? Whether they're readers, they're listeners, or attendees, they're all an audience, and they are all, there, for a common cause. And your event, much like many, many events in Toronto that are spearheaded by people of color, are tremendous opportunities to connect a message to people, which is essentially the objection of media. And so we truly consider this as being the new frontier of Black-owned media. And as we sort of as we sort of reintroduce these opportunities, it grants us and grants our partners and and those who see the value in working with you, it grants them a very intimate opportunity to connect with those attendees of your events. And that provides opportunity for sampling, that provides opportunity for testimonials, and truly interact with a loyal customer base, that has only experienced you when they buy your product, and they've never got to meet a face or a person to thank them for buying their product. And so this provides some space for dialogue that doesn't really exist in traditional media. So when we're looking at this summer, and what are the prominent events that cater to a widespread of people, but are managed, operated, owned, and loved by Black people, this particular event really stood out because of its ability to cross over cultures, right? Cross over into different communities, with the bottom line of health. And that is such an important message to get across to people. So can I show the video? Because I love the video. It sets the mood, sets the vibe. Can we go to the video?
Please roll
All right.
tape.
So yeah, rotate. Well, you know what? Without further ado, let's get to the video. Very cool. Very cool. Lots of fun. Congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
as advertised, we're talking about, uh, you saw the diversity in that shot, right? I mean, that's just, anywhere, any direction you look at any time at this carnival, that's exactly what you're going to see, that is the absolute DNA of your event. And let's talk a little bit about, this incredible Toronto Carnival Run. Um, what was your inspiration behind, launching this run?
Well, by trade, I am a fitness professional, and I started teaching group fitness classes around 2002, and I've been doing that for the past 20 years. This is my full-time gig. And what I would notice is whether I'm teaching a group fitness class or doing one-on-one training, whether I'd be teaching in a community center or a studio or going into schools or what have you, I would notice that there seemed to be a lack of diversity when it came to participation in exercise and physical activity. I would oftentimes be the only Black person in the room. And it started to bother me. I kept thinking, well, why is this? What can I do to really encourage an enthusiasm and really a desire to be healthy? Because it goes without saying, we know how important it is to take care of our bodies, both our physical and our mental health. And I really wanted to be able to find a way to reach out to the Black community, particularly to get more people active. So that's where the inspiration came from, to create an event that brought together not just fitness, but also the fun and the festivity of carnival, which is what so many people within our community love. For carnival has always been something that we look forward to. It's cultural, it's part of our ethnicity, part of our community. So I thought if there's a way I can marry those two concepts together, that's what brought the inspiration together.
Well, you mentioned about your work, and I on your social media page, you'll actually, you shared something about the diversity even in the race clubs, right? And how, and how that was a problem. But now there are more and more race clubs
Run
of
clubs.
ethnicities, run clubs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they race at the end, but yeah, run. But nevertheless, but there's more popping up, right? And so, to be able to now be able to tap into these collectives, these groups and these networks of people, who want to participate in these kinds of runs, now you've given them a place where it's not just, hey, let's meet at this place today, and just very random. They get an opportunity to participate in something that I noticed. You recognize, you identify that this race is a sanctioned. So what does that mean? And what is the difference between a sanctioned event and, I guess, an unsanctioned running experience?
Right. So the Toronto Carnival Run is an officially sanctioned event by Athletics Ontario. So in order to be recognized as a sanctioned event, it means that it has to follow certain criteria. It's a very thick manual of what has to be done in terms of it has to be measured accurately. There has to be proper water stations. There has to be proper aid to assisted medical emergencies. So I followed all of those criteria in order to be an officially sanctioned event. And that allows participants to know that you're coming to a safe event, you're coming to an event that you know is going to be well organized and well measured. And it is fairly big because, again, the Toronto Carnival Run is Canada's only race that is run by a Black person, myself. And to be able to kind of be with the big dogs, as you will, and be at the same level as the Toronto Waterfront Marathons and the other events out there that are also sanctioned. For me, I'm very proud, and it's quite exciting as well.
So does that attract a different kind of racer to when they know that it's sanctioned?
Yes, yes, they know that it's going to start on time. It's going to be properly measured. There's going to be people that are just there for fun. However, the people that, because it's sanctioned, people are there that are perhaps pushing themselves and want to get their PB, their personal best. They can use it as a qualifier for longer races. So with this race, we have a 5K or 10K option. But for some athletes who are perhaps using this as a practice run to qualify for, say, Boston Marathon or any other types of events, this can be officially used for their times.
See, and so that what that does is that, and that's one of the, the criteria that we here at the Blk Advertising Alliance looked at as, this being a sanctioned event. So this is different. This is, on that tier, like you mentioned, with the big dogs, and, advertise it in those races. You're going to get basically one kind of demographic if you look at it from a big picture, right? you're not going to see the kind of diversity that you have at your event, right? So, but the fact that it'll attract those affluent runners, those who are spending a couple $100 on their running shoes every couple months, and those who spend, who have disposable dollars that'll spend to get into these races because it is part of their lifestyle, right? And the fact that you like you said, you're working with Ontario. Is it Ontario?
Athletics Ontario.
Right, Athletics.
So in Canada, we kind of like in the US, they have the just lost my thought. For example, the IAAF is the US sanctioning body for athletic events. In Canada, we have Athletics Ontario or Athletics Canada, which goes across provinces. So that is the group that has sanctioned this event. And you asked the question, the difference between a sanctioned event and a non-sanctioned event.
Right.
Well, anybody can organize a race. You can get a bunch of people together and run. However, to be sanctioned, you have to follow certain criteria, and then that allows people to be able to know that the race is properly organized, it's safe, and they're going to have an effective and hopefully fun experience.
Right. Well, that was like I said, one of the major reasons why we felt confident to be able to represent this race, to the corporate and business community as a sponsorship opportunity because their brands are everything, right? And the last thing we want to do is associate their brand with an event that doesn't start on time, where people are tweeting, "Hey, this race is hasn't even started yet. It's 3 days later," right? Like it just it creates this sort of residual and ripple effect of negativity that the brands they do not they don't want that, right? And so we wanted to be able to find events that are controlled, events that are on a standard of professionalism and excellence, the same way that the brands that we hope to attract to support this event stand by as well. So I once again I congratulate you for thinking big, for wanting to be on the same tier as the major sort of runs and races in our community. And you've done it, and you've done it for our community. So we are so proud of you. And speaking of you, because I don't want to, the video shows a lot about what the event is. We're doing a great job in being very creative with the different packages that we're offering sponsors and advertisers. But I know it's hard. It's hard to talk and celebrate yourself, but you have achievements that I don't know how many people from our community can say they have reached, right? Top, number one instructor and things like that. Can you please just stop being humble for about 38 seconds? And please just like run down the list of Dione Mason Fitness and what you were able to achieve in this space.
Well, one that I'm very proud of is winning in 2017 the CanFit Pro Fitness Professional of the Year Award. And that's presented to a fitness professional, one person per year across Canada that meets the criteria of excelling in not only teaching technique, but also leadership and community involvement. So I was very, very honored and happy to receive that award. I also became the first Black person in CanFit Pro history to receive that award. CanFit Pro, for those who don't know, stands for the Canadian Fitness Professional Organization, which is the largest certifying body in Canada. So pretty much they have a membership of about 20,000 members. So for me to receive an award like that amongst my peers of over 20,000 people was the honor of my lifetime. So that.
Well, you know what? I tell you what, we all celebrated that victory, especially those who understand the significance of what it means. And, it is, it is a space where it may be kind of hard to separate yourself a little bit, because people are all very enthusiastic and people, they take their job very serious, as you do. But for you to be able to separate yourself from the peers, to break that color barrier, and do it when it wasn't sort of almost, it wasn't popular to recognize and elevate Black people, right? Like, that kind of just happened, in the last 2 years, where people are looking at their membership and they're looking at their history and they're saying, wow, we have really neglected celebrating and recognizing the contributions of Black people. And we give thanks to our ancestors and those who sacrificed and lost their lives in the struggle for recognition and respect, i.e. George Floyd, who changed the atmosphere completely on what it means to be Black in the world. And as we, are near the tail end of the International Decade of People of African Descent, it gives me a lot of pride to see, how different organizations are adjusting and recognizing where they fell short, and this is not a time for blame. This is a time, to just really, truly, step up to the plate and do what's right. And this is why we believe that this event, the Toronto Caribbean Carnival Run, is so important for support. I mean, you are an outstanding professional. You have created, a benchmark of event and a tremendous opportunity for brands to introduce themselves to consumers. And whether it's for the first time or you're able to thank customers for their continued support. This is something that we need to rally around. And this is why we invested and doubled down all of our resources to make sure that corporate Canada and corporate America understands that, on July 23rd, right, is going to be the epicenter of culture and fitness and health and fun, especially coming out of the pandemic. And I'm sure it was a tough time. I mean, you went virtual, right, last year?
Last year was virtual. 2020 was canceled. So the last 2 years certainly have been a challenge. But so far to date, I'm already seeing a 35% increase year over year of registrations as of today. So people are ready and excited to come back. So I anticipate a really good crowd this year. And I have to also just thank the running community, because beyond just the Toronto Carnival Run, I'm happy to be part of just a group of people that just a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Race Director Summit, and I'm sitting next to like the Calgary Marathon organizer, the Boston Marathon organizer, who all are really focused on just encouraging people to get back into walking and running. They really truly are about that. So and they always are happy to give their support to me. So beyond just this event, many of them allow me to access their networks, and they're excited to see such diversity, because the Toronto Carnival Run is the only event that is this diverse. And I've done a lot of work to try to make it to make it inclusive, and to reach out to marginalized communities to encourage them to participate and do whatever I need to do to break any barriers that might prevent them from coming out. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Well, if you watch the video, you'll see. I mean, there are people with walkers, there are people in wheelchairs, right? So you have really rolled out, the red carpet for, anyone who wants to just be active. And yes, it is definitely one of the most diverse, but it is also, it is soaked in Afro-Caribbean culture. And, that just goes to show how important we value having, our neighbors experience our culture, and how much our neighbors enjoy experiencing our culture, right?
And I'm the only race that gives fried plantain at the end of the race. Every other race is a banana and a granola bar, any other race, but people look forward to the breakfast at the end.
So that's at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
you gotta run, and then you get your breakfast.
You gotta earn it. You gotta earn the plantain and the provision in that. But I mean, and if people have never, tasted it, you have no idea what it, the smell of it, by the way, I mean, like the smell of it is Caribbean, and the fact that it's so close, to the actual carnival that'll be taking place this year as well, that's back on, this is a perfect way to connect your brand, to the Caribbean community, to the whole excitement of what Carnival means to Canada, to Toronto, to the Caribbean, to the world. And there's so many more opportunities for you to connect leading up to the event. So Dione and her team and our team have been working really hard on putting together some packages that would really, really put your company's message and branding in a very prominent space, in a very welcoming space, where we know it's going to get lots of impressions. And her social media is really second to none. It's full of quality posts. And that is another space where you, of course, can be recognized and appreciated. So, Dione, I just want to take a moment to just bring you on to speak to you, to tell you how excited we are to represent your incredible event to all of the different advertisers who are looking for new ways to engage and interact with just what a diverse community, but to be able to put their dollars, where their customers are. And that's what we're saying. Your customers support your products. Our community supports your products. Our community supports your services. And this is an opportunity to thank their community and to be able to support, a shining star in the health and wellness space, such as yourself, and really help grow your business organically and substantially. So thank you so much for taking time. We are really, really pumped about this year. And we are thankful for you spending some time with us, just talking about yourself and this incredible event coming up soon.
Thank you so much, Dewitt, for having me. Thank you.
It's an honor. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.